Hello everyone, this is Kuroda giving you a shoutcast in a game between Happy Terran and Nerchio here on Metalopolis. Happy spawning as the yellow Terran player. Meanwhile, we have Nerchio spawning as the red Zerg. Now, a couple announcement things out of the way. First of all, I was going through some PC upgrade issues for Wednesday night StarCraft, and unfortunately my cast between Goody versus Cats had no audio, so I had to take those games down. But very, very interesting games. Terran versus Zerg. Terran really showing how to use mech play against Zerg, something that I haven't seen too often. And it was really strong, and I really enjoyed the game, especially on a new map called Belshir Beach, I believe. Second thing, if you guys do not know, I do host a Wednesday night StarCraft alongside Matron StarCraft, and you guys have to watch this coming Wednesday night's game or this matchup. It will be VVV Gaming hosting Prime. Yeah, so Prime will be the players. They are coming, or I guess they're playing all the way from Korea. We'll see whether or not them playing through the lag onto the North American servers will affect them. But I do believe that this will probably be VV Gaming's most difficult matchup yet. And then again, who doesn't want to see perhaps Marine King try to do an all-kill on a VV Gaming, and whether or not he can stand the cheese play that is rough or time. Anyways, we are getting back to this game. We have Nerchio now setting up a hatchery down here on the low ground. So that was, I believe, a 13 or 14 hatch. Rather early, but he does know that he can do this because the Overlord did scout out from this position and then saw that it will be a full cross spawn. Meanwhile, Happy went for an 11 racks, delaying his SCV production, which means that he will be upgrading to an orbital command at 14 food plus the 1 marine at 15, so he is a little bit behind in terms of his economy, but he did get that orbital command up just a split, just a couple seconds earlier because that barracks was down earlier as well. We'll see if the income will definitely help, as we should be getting another supply depot finishing off that wall-in attempt there as an SCV going toe-to-toe against a drone. The drone doesn't stand a chance as the marine offering some cover fire. We now see that there is also a hatchery being placed down by Nerchio here. The SCV knows that he pretty much can't do anything else. He's going to just continue to scout around now, take a look at the gas, sees that there is a spawning pool and a gas. So he knows that there is going to be a delay for quite some time on any early aggression, unless perhaps roaches come off of a 2-base roach push that isn't really that common. 2 marines now also moving out. There is going to be 1 drone down over here making sure that a bunker is not placed down, as we are now going into a factory, most likely going to be adding on a reactor here. So this may become Hellions into Banshee play. Hellion into Banshee play rather common, as the Hellions do not cost any gas and Banshees are very gas intensive, perhaps even opening into double Hellion, to 1 base double starport Hellion, as it is possible off of 1 gas, but then you do not get that cloaking research. There is that reactor already being added on. It is a little bit later, or it's a little bit delayed compared to that factory, but the factory should be able to lift off, and as soon as it hovers over that barracks, they can do that switch off there. Spine crawlers, natural defense by Nerchio, making sure that if there are any Hellions, that the spine crawler will be able to get off an impaled tentacle or 2 before they make it up that ramp. No creep tumors connecting these 2 bases just quite yet, which is a bit of a surprise. But Nerchio knows his timings better, and you will see that he's going to be training up a lot of drones most likely in just a couple more seconds. Zergling now trying to take down this reactor taking a bit of damage, but the Hellions will pop out and torch that poor Zergling down to 7 hit points. The Zergling doesn't stand much of a chance. There it goes. So 2 Hellions already on the move. There are going to be Zerglings up on the high ramp, and this is what you want to do as a Zerg player. And you want to be able to get those Zerglings to sit on the high ground and then perhaps trap the Hellions as they go up the ramp still within range on that spine crawler. By doing that, you really limit the amount of damage that the Hellions are able to do, as the Hellions have now cleared out the center Zelnaga watchtowers, and now it is a push for map control. Happy looking to get a lot more damage in. It looks like more Hellions will be making their way into the battlefield, with 4 Hellions now in the field. Another Zergling attempting to take down that reactor. It does have that metabolic boost there. The Hellions going to regroup, gather themselves, and then perhaps push out. So in comes the Hellions there. The Hellions are getting a bit of damage. There is a Roach Warren being built on the backside, preventing any of those Hellions from being able to sneak behind here and get any damage. Not quite sure why it wasn't placed here instead, as the Hellions, their usefulness will quickly deteriorate. And wow, I was right, into double starport Banshees. So one base double starport Banshees from these Hellions. And now we can see that Nerchio only has 2 queens. He is training up a 3rd queen, but he needs a lot more queens in order to fend off that attack. Zergling's going to now shut down all of those. One of those Hellions that got a little bit out of position. But now 5 Hellions on the move. 5 Hellions definitely going to be able to get a lot of damage onto those Zerglings, trying to get even more torching in back and forth. 1 Hellion keeping in control of that Xel'Naga tower, as the Zerglings are just getting toasted time and time again. It looks like Happy will be going into 4 Banshee play before moving out. 4 Banshee play, very critical, as well as those Banshees are able to focus down onto a queen very quickly. As long as you focus onto the queen that has energy, it does work out. But we are going into a evolution chamber, which does mean a Spore Crawler should be added into the field, as now we are getting finally a reactor swap and now trying to train up some more Marines. Still no command center coming in from Happy, so this is 2 base play versus 1. This is almost essentially an all-in right now, as Happy is going to fall behind, economically speaking. Finally going into that command center, he needs to get a lot of damage off with these Hellions and those Banshees. Otherwise, not much is going to happen. So we now have 4 Banshees moving out. We have 2 additional Banshees still being trained, so 4 Banshees with a lot of Hellions. The Hellions are going to try to just deal some splash damage onto those queens. We have 2 queens currently in play. No, 3 queens here and then 1 queen down here. So 4 queens against 4 Banshees. The Banshees may be able to get it on a lot of damage. We'll see what's going to be happening here, as the Banshees going to go straight after that queen with the most amount of energy. 1 queen down, the next queen down, and this is going to be a problem. Now, Nerchio does not have enough anti-air. In comes a Spore Crawler. The Spore Crawler does take a little bit of time to root. Only 6 seconds, though, as now the Banshees are just going to clean up drone after drone, cleaning up the Spore Crawlers, and the damage is being dealt. This Spore Crawler over here a little bit too far away, as the Zerglings may try to put pressure onto the front door alongside those Roaches, as the Zerglings, and now all of these units are just getting absolutely destroyed. In comes another Spore Crawler. That Spore Crawler may actually be able to finish it off. No, unable to at all. The Overseer now coming into play. The more Banshees are being added in, so we will have 6 Banshees. Some of them on full health. Will they be able to finish down this 1 queen? Going after the layer instead of the queen, that is a bit of an issue. Not quite sure why. There you go, finally focusing down there, as the Roaches now pushing their way forward. Down goes 1 supply depot. A Banshee needs to make their way in, but a nice contamination onto one of those Banshees, as those SCVs are trying to push back. 1 base has been taken down already. You can see that there are a lot of Spore Crawlers. That's going to be very difficult to try to hold off. And in comes this 1 Banshee trying to hold off. They should really be going after the 2nd starport. That 2nd starport has a Banshee almost completed, as this starport will get taken down very, very quickly. SCVs need to fight back. And there goes 1 starport. A 2nd Banshee should be popping up in just a moment, as these Banshees are trying to finish off this 1 Spire there. If the Spire gets up, that is going to be a nightmare, as Mutalisk will be coming out. And now you can see a bit of damage being dealt. The Banshee should be able to finish it off. The Spire was destroyed in time, and there was no Mutalisk trained. You can now take a look back over here. There is, 2 Banshees now moving out. Not quite sure why they're not finishing this off, and it looks like it will be a pure base relocation for the army of Happy. The supply depot, this bunker can easily be salvaged, as the Banshees are now pushing in once again, trying to take down the Spine Crawlers. Taking a look at the army combinations, there is not enough by Happy, but Happy may be able to get off enough damage onto that queen. Yeah, down it goes, as now they are going to try to go after that Spore Crawler. That Spore Crawler is low on hit points. It looks like 1 Spore Crawler will get taken down. Yes, down it goes. Another Spore Crawler is now being built as well, but things are not looking good. So command center now being landed, and Happy not very happy at all, as his base race is not going to bode well for him, as we are now perhaps going for another Spire. You can see the queen coming back over, able to focus and now finish off another Banshee. And a very well played game by both players. Nicely done. I really question trying to focus down the layer as opposed to going after the units. Also, I believe if Happy had just kept his 2 Banshees that were rallied from over here to try to add additional pressure, if he had just decided to finish or defend his base, finish off those Roaches and those Zerglings, he would not have had to do the base trade. The transportation time between here all the way to over here, about 30 seconds. Those Banshees could have easily finished off those Roaches before those starports were on fire, and then perhaps finished off and be able to launch a very strong counterattack. You can see back here, though, it was really critical that he also took down that Spire. So I'm not 100% sure who would have won out in that fight. It was a very close game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed Game 1 in this series between Happy and Nerchio. I know I did. And yeah, stay tuned for Game 2.